It's the first day of school for thousands of kids all around the area. Coming up here at 8 o'clock, some of the big challenges for local schools this year, from the new ban on cell phones in Oregon schools to simply getting kids to show up for school.
We really want kids at school. That's one of the simplest and best ways to help your child.
Plus, local leaders and concerned voters make their voices heard as lawmakers get ready to tackle Oregon's major transportation funding issue yet again.
ODOT doesn't need another consultant report. It needs accountability, discipline, and maybe a calculator that works.
Also ahead, President Trump pushes back against people criticizing his crackdown on crime.
A lot of people are saying maybe we like a dictator. I don't like a dictator. I'm not a dictator. I'm a man with great common sense.
Those words from the president as the White House deploys the National Guard to more cities in the U.S. The 8 o'clock hour of Sunrise starts right now.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us live at 8 o'clock. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. We're going to bring in Chris McGinnis and Rod Hill. Chris has your first day of school traffic report. Rod, did we bust out the bus stop forecast for the first time today?
We have shown the bus stop forecast. I'm not showing it this exact second. I do want to let you know if Portland Public is back, Vancouver Public's back. Both are going to school this morning under mostly cloudy but dry conditions. My big weather story is down where a lot of the public schools won't start until next week. And it's just lightning blow up that to move through Albany as heavy as rain showers. And then we started to get some lightning around Corvallis. And now it's just on top of Philomath. And what's interesting about this real quick, positive versus negative strikes. The negative strikes, not always, but typically are the ones that stay in between the clouds, cloud to cloud. So you're not getting dangerous lightning crashing down. This shows one positive strike. So we know that most of that is up in the clouds. But that's a pretty good thunder show you're hearing, I am sure. Portland, again, we are well north of that area. Obviously, we are dry. We have mostly cloudy skies. It's a stickier, humid 68 degrees. It will be that way throughout the day. Humid, partly sunny, 77 at noon. If we get enough sun later today, we could get up to 90. If we don't, I would think we'll at least get up into the mid 80s. But it's going to be a warm first day of school, no doubt, Chris.
Rod, thank you for that. We've got a pair of traffic alerts in Marion County. I want to start off south of Salem near Enchanted Way. This is the snapshot near Enchanted Way. You can see northbound I-5 is really puttering along here. We've got something hanging up the drive near the Delaney Road exit, which, of course, you know, that area has been under construction for quite a while now. Northbound traffic slow for about 4 miles getting into the south side of Salem. And then farther north, between Woodburn and Jervis, we had two earlier crashes on southbound I-5. It looks like they're in the clearing stages, but there's still a substantial I-5 backup both ways between Woodburn and Jervis. A lot of the overflow traffic then heading through the Brooks area on 99 East. So plan extra time on that part of your commute through Marion County. The rest of our drive, the drive times are up. They're elevated, as you would expect for this hour of a Tuesday morning drive, but nothing's way out of whack. Right now, the drive from Clark County, guys, is timing out to 24 minutes on I-5, Main Street to the Fremont Bridge.
Thank you, Chris. Top story this morning, tens of thousands of students around the area going back to school today, and that includes kids in Oregon's largest school district, Portland Public.
This is video from just moments ago as the first students arrived at Chapman Elementary School in Northwest Portland. Police Chief Bob Day and Dr. Kimberly Armstrong were also there to welcome students to their first day. Chief Day handed out pencils to the kids.
It's also the first day of school for kids in Beaverton. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us live at Bethany Elementary out there in Beaverton. So Thomas, you're seeing the kids roll up, the parents roll up. More smiles or more frowns on day number one?
Drew and China, I got to be honest with you, I was surprised. Just a couple of minutes ago, this place was packed with kids and with parents. It was all smiles. Everybody was excited. I was thinking, you know, first day of school, there's going to be some nervousness. There always is a little bit of anxiety as you're going back on that first day. Bethany Elementary, though, not here, guys. All those kids were pumped up. They had James Brown playing on the speaker. They had the Bobcat mascot out here as well in the parking lot, welcoming everybody back. And this is a place where it's a lot of kids walking to school, not many bus riders. So everybody really excited to come back on the first day of school. And guys, picture it. First day back here along a lot of schools in Oregon and Southwest Washington. Those kids are going back to freshly waxed floors, clean classrooms. Everything looks brand new and fresh in those places. And it's just a really exciting day for people all across the area. Between Portland and Beaverton schools, around 80,000 students returning to class this week. Here at Bethany Elementary, there's been a whole lot happening leading up to today. Office staff have been ordering supplies, teachers have been setting up their classroom, and of course everyone spending a lot of time on that new lesson plan for the upcoming year. Now there is
Staff come back with a renewed sense of energy and inspiration for the year ahead. They're ready to welcome a new group of children and build that community together.
Now there's a lot of big challenges ahead, right? Reading scores are something that students and staff all across our area are trying to boost up. Chronic absenteeism is another area where there's been a lot of focus over the past few years. That's something that leaders are going to continue to try to address, not only here at Bethany, but all across schools in our area. But that first day just getting underway, parents just letting their kids settle in the classroom and starting to leave class today here at Bethany Elementary. Guys, a lot of excitement and a lot to look forward to. Those kids, we talked to a couple of them, they're pumped. And get this, guys, you'll hear from them coming up in our noon show today, so you don't want to miss that at all.
Our Thomas Schultz reporting live from Beaverton this morning. Thank you, Thomas. In the meantime, students return to class today. Some will encounter new rules on cell phone use. Governor Tina Kotek issued an executive order forcing districts to implement a cell phone ban by January 1st. At Portland Public Schools, the district began enforcing an off and away policy last spring. District leaders say that they're already seeing positive results here. At Harriet Tubman Middle School, for example, students were required to keep their phones in pouches throughout the day. And new data shows that the school saw gains in both math and reading.
We're seeing an increase in teaching time in every class. And in addition, it's impacting our academics. Students are more engaged in participating in classroom discussions.
That school board member also pointed out that Harriet Tubman Middle School saw a big drop in student absences after putting the new cell phone policy in place.
The start of the school year also comes with a reminder from local law enforcement for drivers to slow down. Woodburn police will have extra traffic safety enforcement around school zones through next Friday. They say they're going to focus not only on people who are going too fast, but also drivers who aren't wearing their seatbelt or drivers using their cell phones.
We have a lot more kids on the streets, a lot more kids on the sidewalks, kids that may not be familiar with crossing the streets or and the safety measures necessary for that.
So in Woodburn, like it is here in Portland, the school zone speed limit is 20 miles an hour, and that applies from 7 a.m. until 5 p.m. on school days.
Your time now is 8:07. A firefighter from Kaiser has died while battling a Montana wildfire. Ruben Gonzalez Romero right there died of a medical emergency while fighting the Bivens Creek fire. Gonzalez Romero had more than 20 years of experience as a wildland firefighter and served mostly as a sawyer, which is someone who cuts brush and trees. He was a contractor with TJ Forestry, which called him a dedicated firefighter who loved his job and brought joy and wisdom to every crew he worked with.
The latest update on the flat fire in Central Oregon shows it's 7% contained at this point. This remains the largest fire in the state right now, covering 22,000 acres northeast of Sisters. We know it's already destroyed at least 4 homes. 1,200 firefighters continue to work this fire. Some evacuation levels in Jefferson County have been lowered, but many people are still in the level 3 go now zone.
All right, we're headed over Rod Hill now to look at our weather.
And as we mentioned, back to school. What is today? Tuesday. It's a back to school Tuesday for Portland Public, Vancouver Public for starters. It's warm, it's humid. The sun popped up at 6:25 this morning. It's 68 degrees in Portland right now. It's mostly cloudy. It's going to be a partly sunny to mostly cloudy day moving forward. At this point, it looks like the school day will be dry, 77, so outdoor recess at noon, and about 87 degrees when the kids get out. Again, the stickiness, if the kids haven't left school, left the house yet, make sure they're dressed for a really warm summer day. Here's a look at our Rose City camera. A lot of clouds overhead, but Portland is staying dry, as I mentioned. And again, the temperature at the airport currently is 68 degrees. 70 in Tigard. Everybody's dry on this map. 69 degrees out in Troutdale. We've had at least some traces of rain up around Salem and at least some traces of rain this morning up around McMinnville. And then we've had all these showers in Albany and then the thunderstorm cluster, if you will, that's now moved through Corvallis and it's down into Philomath along US 20 down to our south. And that is evidence that there is at least every 24-hour cycle the chance that we get some rain pushing over the Cascades and coming into the valley from the east. So we'll see if we get something like that again later today. We could have it tomorrow. We know there are currently scattered showers in eastern Oregon. There's a thunderstorm threat mixing in for you folks today as well. It's 80s and some areas getting up to 90. If Portland gets enough sun later today, we could make it to 90, but if we don't, we could be as cool as 85 or 86 again. A shower threat is there for every 24-hour cycle through Thursday morning. Then there's a separate system that could bring some rain on Saturday, Sunday. Chris has a traffic update for us.
Ron, thanks for that. I want to get you updated on that traffic alert that we've been following in Marion County. We just heard from Oregon State Police. This is now a fatal crash investigation. The initial report is that it was a wrong-way driver, 2 cars involved. This is, of course, the one that we've been following since about 5:30 this morning. At this point, it does appear that southbound traffic is getting by slowly. Here's a look at the I-5 commute right now, which is backed up from near the Brooks area into Woodburn. That's a snapshot from tripcheck.com, of course, ODOT's website. And you can see traffic is really slow right now southbound. The northbound commute also running slow through the Brooks area. A lot of the overflow traffic heading on to 99E as well. So big delays on I-5 both directions this morning through Marion County because of what we're now hearing. We just found this out as a fatal crash investigation. Farther south, northbound I-5 now really heavy getting into the Salem area because of a disabled vehicle near the Delaney Road exit ramp. Traffic is backed up for about 4 miles on northbound I-5 getting into Salem. Guys, those are the 2 big trouble spots that we're following right now, both in Marion County.
Thank you, Chris.
This was originally a proof of concept project to see that it was possible. It works great.
Still ahead on KGW Plus, something old, something new, how the Beaverton School District turned one of its old diesel buses into a new member of its electric fleet.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
As Beaverton students head back to class, some of them will be riding in a first-of-its-kind school bus in Oregon. It's called a Repower. It's an old diesel engine with 2,000 moving parts converted to a full electric, which has 10. It's for half the price, producing less than half the noise with 0 emissions.
That's not a golf cart. That's a full-sized electric school bus.
Chris, what we have is a 2016 Bluebird bus that was a diesel bus, and we've converted over to an electric bus. It cost about $200,000 to do this. For the same bus, brand new, is $500,000. This is a real opportunity for districts.
Here goes nothing. Hop in the old seat here. Foot on the brake. Turn the key. And we are rolling. Oh, it's quiet.
Beaverton already runs the state's largest electric fleet.
We're the largest transportation department in the state. We operate right now 50 electric buses. We'll be operating 100 electric buses by the end of this school year.
But this conversion was a first and a test.
This was originally a proof of concept project to see that it was possible. It works great. This is a good alternative for school districts that may not have the resources or the ability to get grants as we were fortunate enough to get.
It wasn't easy. The nonprofit Fourth had to assemble funding partners and technology providers to pull it off.
We had to pull together the sources of funding. We had to find the technology provider who could come in and retrofit the engine in the vehicle. We had to pull all of the project partners together and keep them moving through the process, and then really trying to document this to create a playbook for other school districts.
So why do it?
The reason why we did this to begin with was to bring the cleanest climate and cleanest environment to our community members as possible. We specifically focused in on historically underserved students.
And Beaverton didn't hesitate to take the lead.
Very few people in the country have done a repower. Who wants to embark on this project with us? You know, Beaverton was right there to step up and say, that sounds really challenging, sign us up. And they've just been a leader in the state and really in the country on making this transition to electric school buses.
Yes, the first retrofitted or repowered school bus in Oregon. Thank you, Beaverton, right? A quieter, cleaner ride rolling out just in time for the first day of school in Beaverton. That district transports about 28,000 students each day. By the end of the year, as you heard from the Transportation Administrator, Craig Beaver there, they expect nearly a third of their fleet will be electric. Back to you.
All right, Chris McGinnis with that first day of school report.
Yeah.
Rod has your first day of school weather.
I rode the bus. And I'm thinking I used to hear it coming, but you won't hear it coming now because, you know, those things are so quiet.
But that could actually be dangerous now that you bring it up, Rod. Way to uncover a new problem.
Well, it made me think, the bus will go by and I'll be like, wait. All right, here's our satellite radar. We've got all this activity from New Mexico through Salt Lake City, and then there's what I called this little super pump low yesterday on sunrise because it literally slingshots this moisture across Oregon with that counterclockwise circulation and shoves everything all the way off of the Oregon coast. And this morning, we've ended up having a pretty good rain show between Eugene and Salem. We've had rain one after another shower this morning moving through the Albany area. We've had some lightning near Corvallis. And now we've got all this lightning that's down near Philomath as well. So we have that going on. All of that is near to south of Salem. So Portland's been dry. Chinook Woods Casino Resort, though, you're getting some cloudiness up top from that flow pattern. And you might end up with a touch of rain as well this morning. Right now, dry and 56. We have that flat fire, which is burning just 4 miles roughly outside of the Sisters area. And there are the Three Sisters from Aspen Lakes Golf Course. So you've got to assume there's at least some fire haze from that flat fire burning in this shot. Otherwise, it's kind of mostly cloudy over in central Oregon this morning as well with the ongoing threat of showers and maybe a thunder shower that pops a little bit later today. Portland dry. We're mostly cloudy. We're humid. It's 68 degrees. Everybody on the map is pretty warm. We have some 50s at the coast, and we have 58 out in Burns. Otherwise, it's 60s and 70s across both of our two states. Valley forecast numbers. The air mass is warm. If we get enough sun this afternoon during the heating of the day, the temperature will go up to around 90. But if we have a lot of cloudiness continuing at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, we'll hold in the 80s. It will be warm, it will be humid, and we'll see light winds. Southwest Washington, a similar situation. The potential to get up to 90 would depend on the sun. So we have that rain I showed you on radar in the valley at this moment. I think each 24-hour cycle has at least a chance of a shower into the valley at some point. Tough to pinpoint where, but the chance is there into Thursday morning. Then we have a dry Friday. Then we're tracking a separate system that could bring some rain on Saturday into Sunday. Chris has been tracking several traffic stories.
Rod, two big traffic alerts, both in Marion County. Again, an update on this southbound I-5 situation. We just heard from OSP about 20 minutes ago that this is now a fatal crash investigation on I-5 southbound, a crash that happened around 5:30 this morning. The initial indication is it was two cars, possibly one driving the wrong direction on the freeway. Right now, I-5 southbound is backed up for miles into the Woodburn area. This is a look at tripcheck.com, the snapshot at the Woodburn exit. So that's at milepost 271. The crash scene is at milepost 267. And again, that happened at about 5:30 this morning. Northbound traffic also slowing around that crash scene, and traffic through Brooks on 99E is handling some of that southbound overflow, so that's busy. Farther south, approaching the Salem area, we've got a disabled vehicle near the Delaney Road exit ramp, and that's got a 4-mile backup on I-5. That's northbound traffic heading up into Salem between Lynn and Marion counties. Guys, we'll keep you posted on both of these.
Thank you, Chris.
We may or may not. We may just go in and do it, which is probably what we should do.
President Trump talking about expanding his crackdown on crime. We're going to cover which U.S. city might see National Guard troops next when Sunrise continues after this.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
President Trump is ramping up his crackdown on crime, signing several executive orders and saying he may send National Guard troops to several other U.S. cities.
The move is drawing criticism from state and local officials. NBC's Alice Bauer brings us the latest from Washington, D.C.
This morning, new signs President Trump's expanding crackdown on crime could mean a growing National Guard presence in more big cities, already armed on the streets of Washington, D.C., with Chicago potentially next in line.
We may or may not. We may just go in and do it, which is probably what we should do. Chicago desperately needs help.
The president signing an executive order tasking his defense secretary with creating specialized National Guard units to be trained and ready to help with domestic law enforcement. Chicago's mayor pointing to a 30% drop in murders, robberies, and shootings from last year, though the city is still averaging more than 1 killing a day, with 3 homicides and 27 people shot just this weekend.
Our communities need more federal resources for public safety. There's no question about that. But unsolicited, unwarranted military takeover is not needed.
The Illinois governor calling the potential takeover
a dangerous power grab.
And referring to President Trump as a wannabe dictator, the president pushing back.
A lot of people are saying maybe we like a dictator. I don't like a dictator. I'm not a dictator. I'm a man with great common sense.
All as President Trump signed 2 more crime-related executive orders, one threatening to revoke federal funding from states that offer cashless bail, arguing that lets offenders commit more crimes. The second aimed at turning the burning of American flags from a First Amendment-protected act into a crime for inciting a riot. In another controversial move overnight, President Trump fired Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook, citing his administration's allegations of mortgage fraud. Cook says she's done nothing wrong and that the president does not have the authority to fire her. It comes amid a presidential pressure campaign on the Fed over interest rates. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Now to your morning rush. An Israeli strike on a hospital in Gaza killed 20 people, including several journalists. A warning, this video may be hard to watch. A second blast struck just minutes after the first, while reporters and first responders were already on scene. That explosion was caught live on air. Israel is calling the incident a tragic mishap, saying they don't target civilians, but critics are demanding answers. The Coast Guard offloaded a record $473 million in drugs in Florida on Monday. The haul included more than 61,000 pounds of cocaine and 14,000 pounds of marijuana taken in 19 busts across the Eastern Pacific and Caribbean this summer. The Keurig Dr. Pepper Company is restructuring its business model. It's purchasing Peet's Coffee in a deal worth nearly $18 billion. The company will then split into two separate companies, with one focused solely on coffee and the other focused on non-coffee drinks. And you still have a chance to be a millionaire because nobody won last night's Powerball jackpot. In fact, nobody's won since May 31st. So that means the pot is rolling over again and is now expected to reach $815 million before Wednesday's drawing, making it the seventh largest in the lottery's history. And that's your morning rush.
Fundamentally, not approving this bill jeopardizes more than just ODOT. It jeopardizes those people that are taking care of the roads in your home communities.
State lawmakers will get together later this week for a special session to tackle Oregon's transportation funding issue. Coming up in our next half hour, more from both sides of the aisle on this major problem that, to this point, the state has not been able to solve.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Good morning, I'm Drew Carney. Today is the first day of school for thousands of kids across Oregon and Southwest Washington. Governor Kotek is requiring all schools in Oregon implement a new cell phone ban this school year, and some districts will have their ban in place starting day one. Education leaders say they also want to focus on bringing reading scores up this year and absentee numbers down. Roll call time. Rod Hill.
Present.
There you go.
I'm here. Let's get going. Boy, what a morning for you folks. Generally south of Salem, Albany, Philomath, Corvallis, Here's the latest. Still rain in the area. Look at that thunderstorm activity. It just blew up through Philomath. Now it's moving a little bit north west of you folks, and this activity is making its way into Lincoln County. So that's generally been south of Salem. There has been at times some raindrops being found in Marion County as we look at our state capital. Portland's dry. We're mostly cloudy. We're humid. It's warm. We'll be 77 at noon. If we get enough afternoon sun, we can make it to 90. If we don't, we could be as cool as 85 or 86. We have an ongoing shower chance into Thursday morning.
Well, it's a big day for thousands of students across Oregon and Southwest Washington. It is the first day of school for many districts, including Portland Public Schools. We've been at Chapman Elementary all morning as students arrived on the bus or with their parents. So here's a look at what that looked like. Superintendent Kimberly Armstrong was also there, and Police Chief Bob Day handed out pencils to the kiddos.
Yeah, that's Northwest Portland, of course. Thomas Schultz has also been live in Beaverton this morning, so we're covering parts of the area. What were we going to say?
Well, they were singing, I think. I wish we could. It sounded to me like they were singing, the kids on the school steps. There. Yeah.
Perhaps.
I wanted to hear what, but we couldn't hear it.
Should we do a little roll call this morning to get our day started? McGinnis? Here. Green?
Present.
Hill?
Yeah.
Everyone's here. First day of school.
Let's get you going. It's been a dry morning for Vancouver Public and Portland Public school students out the door. It's warm. It's 60s, even 70s. It's sticky outside. My weather story is focused on you folks down in Lynn and Benton and Polk counties, all seeing some rain this morning, including thunderstorm activity right along US 20. There's Corvallis, there's Philomath. This seems to be maybe fizzling somewhat. Earlier it was pumping out like, at one point we had 24 strikes in 30 minutes down there. Mostly, if the radar information is correct, mostly cloud to cloud strikes, meaning not coming down, but boy, you can hear the thunder and maybe see the flashes in the sky. Portland, again, we're north of all that. We're at 68 degrees, so here's that first day of school. 77 degrees at noon, mainly dry, should be dry. And then if we get enough sun, we'll get up to about 90 at 5 o'clock this afternoon. Now, we are seeing scattered showers this morning in central and eastern areas of our state as well. Didn't end up seeing a lot of lightning in Oregon yesterday, but it's certainly possible. This is an unstable weather setup, and we saw the lightning down around Philomath and Corvallis a moment ago. So these 90s would take some decent afternoon sun to get that warm. It'd be 60s at the coast. Again, certainly warm, certainly humid outside like yesterday. A shower threat for the valley is at least in the forecast through Thursday morning. And then right now it looks like a dry Friday. Of course, this Labor Day weekend upcoming. I am tracking a system that may or may not hold together. If it does, we could see a shower Saturday afternoon, night, and Sunday. Here's Chris.
Rod, thanks for that. We pick it up with that traffic alert in Marion County. Again, we're hearing of a fatal crash earlier this morning on the freeway on I-5 southbound near milepost 267. That's about 5 miles south of the Woodburn area. OSP just got us another email update saying that they are about to reopen the freeway. What I can tell you right now, though, is that, or I should say reopen the southbound lane that was closed. Right now, the southbound backup is large. It is backed up basically from that crash scene all the way back past the Woodburn area. So just be aware that as you head south on I-5 right now, you're going to need lots of extra time to get through that. We don't have any other details on the crash specifically. We are working to find out more about that, but the traffic impact is obviously very significant right now. Also, south of the Salem area on I-5 northbound, a disabled vehicle has got 5 miles of traffic backed up on northbound I-5 getting into Salem. This is near Sunnyside, near the Delaney Road exit ramp. There's the snapshot, and you can see traffic is really puttering along there. Guys, we will keep you posted.
All right, thank you, Chris. Let's get to our local news headlines this half hour. State lawmakers are gathering for a special session later this week to tackle Oregon's ongoing transportation funding problem that they failed to solve during this year's regular session.
Yesterday, local leaders and concerned Oregonians traveled to Salem to weigh in on the proposals now on the table. Emma McCarty has the latest.
Dozens of people made the trip to Salem Monday afternoon for the public hearing, with even more signing up to testify virtually just days ahead of the special session.
Fundamentally, not approving this bill jeopardizes more than just ODOT. It jeopardizes those people that are taking care of the roads in your home communities.
Before lawmakers take another shot at passing the transportation funding package, Oregonians weighed in.
We have no doubt you'll figure this out so we can, preserve not just our roads, but the jobs of those who preserve them.
Several in person arguing in favor of Governor Kotek's proposal to avoid layoffs and cuts to service and bring in around $5.8 billion over 10 years to fund road maintenance and transit agencies. Supporters acknowledging, too, that this package is a short-term fix.
It's a Band-Aid for now, but again, don't let good be the enemy of perfect. Let's put the Band-Aid on, and then we can move forward, find different programs, different systems to provide the long-term solutions that we need.
The governor sharing with KGW this message.
What I can say to every Oregonian, whether you're a Democrat, Republican, or independent, what we're going to do is make sure that your roads, your bridges are safe and maintained no matter what time of the year it is, and that's why that package has to pass.
Many, however, wrote in against it, with a few voicing that opposition to the committee.
ODOT doesn't need another consultant report. It needs accountability, discipline, and maybe a calculator that works.
Frustrated with proposed increases, like the gas tax by 6 cents, registration fees by $42, and title fees by $139.
We work really hard. I pay my taxes. I have to budget myself. I believe that the government needs to budget themselves.
House Republican leader Christine Drazen says raising taxes isn't the answer to this crisis.
And we have to acknowledge that. We can't, as policymakers, walk around and say, listen, state government is all that matters. And these folks, y'all just need to take it. It's not fair to them. It's not the only way to solve this problem.
I'm told this special legislative session will last about 6 days, beginning on Friday. In Salem, Alma McCarty, KGW News.
Governor Tina Kotek, in the meantime, has signed a slate of bipartisan bills aimed at lowering energy costs for Oregonians. One of the new law limits how often utility companies can raise customers' rates and bans increases during winter months. A second law doubles the amount of money in the Energy Assistance Program to help low-income Oregonians. And another new law requires big energy users like data centers to pay for the strain that they put on the state's electrical grid. It creates a special rate category for those users with the idea that they will cover their own costs.
Investigators identified the remains found last month in a storage unit in the Dalles as 20-year-old Hae Mei Hung, also known as Kiki. Hung's remains were found after someone bought that storage unit at a facility on West 6th Street in the Dalles. Investigators also identified a person of interest, 59-year-old Richard Michael Robinson. They say Robinson is from the Dalles but was arrested yesterday in Colorado on an unrelated warrant and is awaiting extradition back here to Oregon.
Your time now is 8:37. It's a Portland area mystery that we've been following for decades. And now a salvage diver in the Columbia River Gorge says that he's recovered human remains he believes belong to the Martin family.
So the Martin family disappeared during a road trip nearly 70 years ago. This past March, that same diver discovered what's believed to be the Martin family's car. KGW's Libby Dowsett has the update.
Authorities believe Ken and Barbara Martin and their 3 daughters from Northeast Portland were driving in the Columbia Gorge when their cream-colored station wagon with red trim crashed into the river in Cascade Locks. Now, nearly 70 years later, local diver Archer Mayo believes he has finally uncovered remains of both Ken and Barbara and possibly their 14-year-old daughter.
I feel good that this is a win, but it's a win in comparison to the sadness of what happened.
The Martins' 2 younger daughters surfaced a year after their disappearance, not far from the final destination of the car in this old canal. Mayo discovered the vehicle last fall in a deep underwater pit.
When you dig under the river, you can't just dig a hole like in your garden. You have to, it's like digging in gravel.
He found toys, clothes, and in recent days, after going even deeper into the pit, what he believes are some of Barbara's and Ken's remains.
It's tough, you know, it's because it's real. Like, I know it's real and it's been real, but it hasn't been this real.
Community members finally getting some resolution to the mystery.
We're happy for them and praying God bless the family.
We were kind of really cheering Archer on and his search and the passion that he's built around this case.
In March, the Hood River Sheriff's Office brought in a salvage crew to attempt to recover the vehicle. But with decades of sediment buildup, they were only able to get the chassis and the engine. Now, this car is not in good shape, especially since Mayo believes the car went into the water originally, right where that ladder is. There was no railing there at the time. He says the car flipped multiple times and went all the way down to the end of this old canal system. During our visit Monday, Mayo says he found more remains and personal items.
And I found what I believe is Barbara's shoe, what's left of it. You can really see that canvas barely, any kind of organic material barely lasts for that long.
But Mayo says these may be his final dives due to the danger. With the car buried nose first, upside down, even the sheriff's office has suspended recovery efforts as it takes possession of all the remains found by Mayo.
I thought it was kind of my mystery to solve, and then I saw the car and touched the car, and I realized, almost like the family had brought me in for this, right?
The sheriff's office is not commenting on this case, saying it's an open investigation, but they never found a VIN number, so they can't confirm it's the Martins' vehicle. However, they say every indication shows it is. In Cascade Locks, Libby Dowsett, KGW News.
Meanwhile, the FBI is leading about 100 local and federal officers in the latest search for Travis Decker. He's the man accused of killing his 3 young daughters in central Washington 3 months ago. Decker has not been seen since, and authorities say there is still no evidence to prove that he's actually still alive. The campground that's close to where the girls' bodies were found is closed right now while investigators focus their efforts on searching that area again. Authorities say they may reopen the campground later today unless investigators determine that they need more time to search that area.
Police have released updated numbers following a series of illegal street takeovers over the weekend. Authorities say 6 people were arrested and 16 cars were towed. Officers reported responding to multiple takeover events, but admitted that they weren't able to reach all of the activity, citing limited information and not enough personnel. Police say when they confronted racers Sunday night, the crowd threw projectiles and mortars at them.
All right, Chris McGinnis has been busy this hour, keeping his eye on a couple of different traffic issues.
Yeah, a new one just popping up on the Banfield now. Quick heads up, 32 minutes in building your drive on I-84 westbound from Troutdale. The trouble is near the Providence Medical Center here. That's on the left-hand side of your screen. There's the westbound commute. Got a stall or a fender bender here that's got the left lane blocked, and the traffic now backed up on I-84. Look at that, solid out past Halsey and actually out towards I-205. So need some extra time on that side of town. And the 2 other big alerts that we've been following, an earlier fatal crash on I-5 southbound is still causing major delays on the freeway. I don't have any details specifically about the crash, other than OSP says 2 cars were involved, and they are confirming that 1 person was killed tragically in that crash. The backup right now is substantial back into the Woodburn area, so allow lots of extra time on southbound I-5. We are hearing that that southbound lane is about to reopen shortly. Meanwhile, getting into the Salem area on northbound I-5, a disabled vehicle near the Delaney Road exit ramp has basically a 4-mile parking lot on northbound I-5 getting into Salem. That's got traffic backed up, as you can see here, past Enchanted Way on the south side of Salem. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you, Chris.
Can't see anything. We're in the middle of the haboob.
Yeah, this is wild. A massive wall of dust swallows up the Phoenix area yesterday, delaying flights and leaving many drivers stuck in their cars. Coming up here on Sunrise, more video of this storm that left tens of thousands of people in Arizona literally in the dark.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
A massive dust storm known as a haboob moved through Arizona yesterday afternoon, causing downed trees, power outages, and flight delays.
And while the Phoenix area was faced with that, other western states dealt with other severe weather conditions, including heavy rain, near hurricane force winds, and growing wildfires. Here's NBC's Morgan Chesky with the latest.
Overnight, a massive dust storm blanketing Phoenix. The apocalyptic scene driven by wind gusts hitting 70 miles per hour.
We just got a dust storm warning and it's coming in.
The storm, also called a haboob, turning the sky nearly black. This time-lapse video showing the dust blanketing Arizona State University's football field. The ominous clouds rolling over entire neighborhoods.
Can't see anything. We're in the middle of the haboob.
And temporarily grounding all planes at Sky Harbor Airport. Travel troubles farther west too, where thunderstorms grounded flights at LAX. Cell phone video capturing torrential rain and winds in California's Coachella Valley, whipping palm trees in near hurricane-force gales. And while the Northeast enjoys a refreshing break from summer temps, scorching heat is still fueling those West Coast wildfires. Firefighters racing to contain blazes in Oregon. In Wyoming, crucial airdrops of fire retardant slowing progress on a fire that's burned 4,000 acres and counting. While in the famous Napa Valley wine country, helicopters helping crews stay ahead of the flames. Wild weather whipping up yet again in one of summer's final weeks.
The pictures of that haboob down in Arizona, they're all over online. Amazing shots. There was a report, and the story mentioned it, 70-mile-per-hour winds at Phoenix's Sky Harbor Airport. And one of the connector bridges, the word in the article I read was shredded, that the winds shredded the connector bridge. I mean, that's
like tore it up?
Winds, obviously, yeah, 70 miles per hour. And, you know, it's basically a front that is accompanied with wind. Of course, they don't get that much rain down there, so it ends up being mostly wind and dust, but what a mess.
Oh, it looked like something out of the movies, honestly, like a Mission Impossible movie scene.
Yeah, absolutely. So from that, we go to this. We have rain with our weather system and really not any wind to speak of, but you can see that the west is active from Salt Lake to Denver to Idaho into Nevada, especially Nevada, and then into Oregon. And this flow pattern is continuing to bring the cloudiness we've had in our sky the last several days from the east, from showers in eastern and central Oregon, and throwing it our way. And then this morning, not only did we get rain here in the valley, this has been flirting at times with Salem. And well, there's some more rain now moving up through Salem. McMinnville's had a touch of rain. Earlier we had, watch it here, it's pop, 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 pop. That's over Philomath, especially lightning strikes in the area. So here's the deal. The modeling is not picking up on any of this. So all we know as forecasters is the flow pattern continues to bring clouds, and because we're unstable, threats of rain at times blowing over the Cascades into the valley. So I'm just going to tell you that every 24-hour cycle between now and Thursday morning, with this weather pattern not changing, we could see something like this. Maybe next time what we see is up over Portland. Maybe it's down here again. Or maybe we don't really get anything of this magnitude between now and Thursday. But the chance is there, so we just throw that out and let you know. It's tough to pinpoint it because we don't have any imagery that's really showcasing it, if you will. So that's what's going on this morning. And you would assume there's a good chance that's going to eventually fizzle for you folks down in Lynn and Benton and Polk counties this morning. Here's a cloudy shot for the most part from Chinook Winds Casino Resort in Lincoln City, where it's 56 degrees. And partly to mostly cloudy here in the valley overall. There's Sahalem Tasting Room in Sherwood looking at the barn and out over the vineyard, 71. It is a warm, humid morning. Portland's at 68. Current humidity level 76% relative humidity to the temperature. 63 up in Kelso, 50s at the coast, and warm out east because we have a mix of clouds and some scattered showers. There have been showers between Bend and John Day this morning. If we get afternoon sun that's decent for several hours, we could see highs get back up into the 90s. Generally, yesterday's cloud cover held us in the 80s, and maybe that's the way today turns out as well. But it will be humid like it was yesterday. It will be warm. There won't be much of a breeze. We have this ongoing shower threat into Thursday morning. We have a dry 88-degree Friday, and there's another system, one off of the Pacific, that could bring some showers Saturday and Sunday over your Labor Day weekend. It is birthday time. All right, who's celebrating on this Tuesday? We've got Abram, who is 14 today. Happy birthday to you. Marnie, 56 years young. Happy birthday. Hope you have a great day. It's always good to have a nice birthday. Jimmy, 76. Happy birthday to you. And then put your hands together for Dorothy, who is 100 years young here in Portland. Beautiful lady. Look at that. Happy birthday to you. Hope you have a fun day. Birthdays at KGW.com. We'll celebrate with you. Now Chris has a more serious note.
Rod, thank you for that. Yeah, we pick it up with a pair of traffic alerts. First off, I-84 westbound, a little bit of good news here. That earlier crash near Providence Medical Center looks like it's just clear, but you can see we are pretty thick with that westbound drive, about 35 minutes to get you in from Troutdale. Here's the slowing around that earlier crash scene. The crash was right, well, step out of the way. It's right about there. It looks like ODOT just got that out of the way, but you can see the backup at this point remains as we surf back past Halsey and then out towards I-205. The other big traffic trouble spots, of course, this OSP alerting us of a fatal crash investigation on I-5 southbound in Marion County. This happened earlier this morning around milepost 267. OSP letting us know that they have reopened both lanes of the freeway now at this point, but there is a substantial southbound delay. This is what it looks like just a couple of minutes ago in Woodburn. So you need some extra time there for sure. And then northbound getting into Salem, a disabled vehicle near the Delaney Road exit ramp through that construction zone has northbound traffic running really thick all the way back past Enchanted Way. Sunrise rolls on after this break.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
Here's a quick recap of some of this morning's top local stories. Today, the first day of school for thousands of kids across Oregon and Southwest Washington. Oregon Governor Tina Kotek is requiring all schools in Oregon implement a new cell phone ban this year, and some districts will have their ban in place starting day one. Education leaders say they also want to focus on bringing reading scores up this year while bringing absentee numbers down. Governor Kotek signed new bipartisan laws to help cut energy costs in Oregon. The laws will limit utility rate hikes during the winter months, will boost financial aid for low-income families, and will also require big energy users like data centers to cover the strain that they put on the power grid. The latest update on the flat fire in Central Oregon shows it's 7% contained at this point. Still, it's the largest fire in the state, covering 22,000 acres northeast of Sisters, and we know it's destroyed at least 4 homes. Some evacuation levels in Jefferson County have been lowered, but a lot of people are still under level 3 go now orders.
Had some rain over that fire zone yesterday. There's the possibility of showers again today in Central Oregon. For Portland, if we get enough afternoon sun, we could jump to 90. Otherwise, we'll be in the 80s with kind of partly sunny to mostly cloudy skies. It looks like during the daytime hours, the rain probably stays in that zone near Salem to the south that we've been tracking this morning. But there's the ongoing shower threat in the valley all the way into Thursday morning.
Marion County has been a big trouble spot for us this morning. Ongoing backup there seen on I-5 southbound in Woodburn. This because of an early morning fatal crash investigation down near milepost 267. We're working to get more details on that, but as of this moment, you can see that the southbound commute is still really backed up.
It's time for Dial the Storm.
So BTS fans got a treat in Los Angeles last night when V threw out the ceremonial first pitch at the Dodgers home game. After meeting superstar Shohei Ohtani, V took to the mound, bowed at the first pitcher, then fired a left-handed strike. All with fans screaming the entire time. BTS has been in the U.S. since July working on new music. The group is set to release a new album next spring following the band members' break due to mandatory military service in South Korea. So they're not from here, but I would say they're probably the equivalent to the Beatles.
Okay. Wow. I mean, the pitch was slightly high and outside, but he was throwing in jeans.
And he's a lefty.
And he's a lefty, so that may get a few guys to swing and miss.
Sure.
All right, that wraps up a Tuesday edition of Sunrise. We hope to see you tomorrow morning, the Wednesday edition. We start, of course, at 5 o'clock in the morning on KGW. You can catch the final 2 hours of Sunrise every day right here on KGW+. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.